This is 5 on your side at noon. Focused on you.
An outstanding morning in St. Louis, sunny, cool, and a little taste of fall as you got started this morning. Here's a live look at City Park. We're in for a couple of days of spectacular weather. Thanks for being here at noon. I'm Kay Quinn. Now the heat will return. It is August after all. Meteorologist Jim Castillo here with the weather impact forecast.
Yes, by the weekend that heat's back in the forecast. So all the pool lovers out there, the pools are still open. You're going to have some pool time this weekend, but like Kay was saying, what a beautiful morning. And right now, you know, it is noon, so we're going into the afternoon here, and you notice with the daytime heating, a few clouds are beginning to pop up, but otherwise, these numbers are fantastic. We're in the 70s at the moment, everywhere in the entire viewing area, and then overnight lows tonight will be dropping down into the 50s, even around St. Louis, 58. Flora 52, Litchfield 51, and Centerville about 57 degrees. Now that allergy index, the weeds are high, the mold is high. I'm hearing of a few of us having runny noses for sure and sneezing, and that's likely the reason why. All right, 76 degrees right now at Lambert, and an east-northeast wind at 10 miles an hour, humidity 50%, and that dew point down in the 50s. It'll be like that for a couple of days, but it's raining around the Kansas City area. Even today, that'll stay away from us, and most of that rain chance will be just to the west of us. More on our forecast and that heat returning coming up.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Jim. A woman is dead after she was hit by a vehicle in Jennings. Officers responded to the scene on Wilbourn Drive this morning. They found the woman on the ground. She died after being taken to a hospital. The driver of the vehicle drove off. If you have any information, you're asked to call St. Louis County Police. It is back to school for students in the Francis Howell School District. Students will notice a number of changes in the classroom. The district has banned books with explicit descriptions of sexual conduct, alcohol and drug use, repeated profanity, and violence. Just days ago, the school board banned teachers and staff from speaking with students about gender identity unless they have permission from parents or guardians. And Black Studies courses will no longer be based on the Southern Poverty Law Center teaching tolerance standards because the board felt the teachings haven't been, quote, politically neutral. It is day 2 for students in the St. Louis Public School District. Parents tell us transportation was hit or miss yesterday. 2 hours ago, we got an update on just how many students used Metro buses to get to school. Metro Transit says fewer than 200 high school students took the bus for the first day of school. Police tell us they're not aware of any safety issues. Meanwhile, Acting Superintendent Dr. Millicent Borashade says the district has about 72% attendance. That's about the same as last year's first day. She says that's encouraging in light of transportation problems. An update now on a plan to introduce fresh food and produce to North St. Louis County. We first told you about a nonprofit hoping to purchase a huge vacant property off of Halls Ferry Road. Well, the company is now ready. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon explains how leaders are now working to make the multi-million-dollar transformation a reality.
All right. There's nothing like having the keys to your dream to help others. In this case, it's to bring a brand new grocery store to North County.
Fresh produce, meat, fish, value-added products, plus your typical dry goods, your grains, your dairy.
2 years ago, we told you about the nonprofit group, a Red Circle, had plans to purchase this 45,000 square foot space. Now that it has, a multi-million-dollar renovation plan is now in the works. Just outside of that building.
So eventually when these fruit trees mature, people will be able to walk down the street and just grab an apple off the tree.
There's a demonstration garden at the corner of Halls Ferry and Lewis and Clark Road.
Collard greens and watermelon and sunflowers.
It's a new addition to the group's farmland a few minutes away here in Pine Lawn.
Pumpkins are right behind you. They'll be coming in.
Next to the farm, they just finished renovations on a farmhouse.
The farmers will be able to come here and check out equipment. We have tractors and tillers, and we'll have someone here doing cooking demonstrations from the food at the farm, teaching canning classes.
All of this is a labor of love. Federal funding, grants, and private donations helping bring fresh food to an area where it can be scarce.
Be able to renovate and bring life into this space with good food and jobs, and entrepreneurship is amazing.
What's more amazing is the will to thrive, even when it seems there's no way.
Growing food in a disinvested area is an act of liberation.
That was Brent Solomon reporting. Organizers are hoping to roll out a soft launch of the grocery store next year. They're also working to open a kitchen on site for cooks to have a shared working space. The building would allow new business owners to open up shop. New life for an historic building near Lafayette Square. The 19th century structure on Choteau used to house 3 restaurants, including Vin de Set and its popular rooftop deck. It's been empty since a fire damaged it 2 years ago. Well, now new owners are planning a $2 million renovation. The plan includes a new restaurant, event space, office space, and 17 loft apartments. It is day 2 of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Just weeks ago, President Biden was the party's nominee for a second term. Now he's officially passed the torch to Vice President Kamala Harris. NBC's Alice Barr is at the United Center with more on tonight's schedule.
Hi there. Night 1 of the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago was in many ways a culmination of the turmoil that this party has been through over the past several weeks. There was a really singular moment when Vice President Harris and President Biden were on stage at the same time at the end of the night. And in many ways, that was that really symbolic passing of the torch moment. It was a surprise appearance on the first night by Vice President Harris, and she came out to speak praises about President Biden. She was not the only one. Throughout the night, there was really a swell of tributes to his legacy. And then he gave the final speech of the night, speaking about his 50 years in public service in the U.S. government. He thanked the American people, and he said he had given his best to America. He also addressed head-on all of the conversation that's been swirling about his basically having left the ticket, having given up his reelection bid. And he said that it's not true that he's angry at people in the Democratic Party who thought that he should step aside. He said that he loved the job of president, but that he loves his country more and thinks it's more important to preserve democracy. So that was a big moment. There was also a focus on some of the key issues. And then, looking ahead to tonight, night 2, the headliners are going to be former President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama. Sure to be another rousing night in the United Center. From the DNC in Chicago, I'm Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now, outside the United Center, protesters are making themselves visible and heard. A group broke through a security fence yesterday as thousands took to the streets to voice their opposition to the war in Gaza. They're calling for a ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hamas. Police arrested the protesters who managed to get through the fence. And our political editor, Mark Maxwell, will report live from the convention every night until it wraps up on Thursday. You can catch his reports on air, online at ksdk.com, and streaming on 5+. As the Democrats hold their convention in Chicago, former President Donald Trump is stumping in several battleground states. He'll stress issues that Republicans think they hold an advantage on, including the economy, crime, and the border. Disney used its streaming service to prevent a man from filing a wrongful death lawsuit. Today, it seems the company is giving in to public pressure. Plus, the entertainer who broke the attendance record at the Illinois State Fair.